Did you know there are 10 questions that can trigger desire, confusion, and even obsession in a woman's mind? They are not compliments, they are not flattery, and they are definitely not stolen pickup lines from the internet. They are weapons, questions with precision, designed to pierce through her emotional armor and plant a seed she cannot erase. Because while most men talk about themselves, you will make her reveal everything. Machiavelli understood this better than anyone. Power does not lie in what you express. It lies in what you make the other person reveal. A woman connects emotionally with the man who makes her speak, not the man who tries to impress her with tricks. These questions may seem harmless, but they awaken something deeper. Desire, mystery, contradiction. Everything her subconscious needs to start idealizing you. And here's where most men fail. They aim for safety. Safe questions. Predictable questions. But safety never creates desire. It only creates boredom. This video is not for the man who wants quick tips and shallow results. It's for strategists, for men who understand that real seduction is not about what you say, but about what she feels when she's with you. And feeling is the battlefield where logic becomes irrelevant and desire takes control. If you use these questions with the right tone, at the right moment, and if you let silence become your ally, you will provoke something thousands of men fail to spark every single day. This knowledge doesn't come from modern dating cliches. It comes from the psychology of power, from the invisible game between influence, desire, and emotional manipulation. If you want to understand the female mind from a deeper, more strategic, and brutally realistic perspective, subscribe now, because what you're about to hear, no average channel will dare to teach you. These are the 10 questions, forged in Machiavellian logic, that can make her choose you, even if she has better options. So, let's begin. Most men fail at seduction because they don't know what to ask. They choose questions that are boring, predictable, safe. But you're not here to be an average man. You're here to become the emotional trigger she never saw coming. To do that, you need questions she will never forget. So listen closely. From this moment, I will reveal 10 questions that can drive a woman wild, if used with Machiavellian precision. And we begin right now. Question number 1. What kind of man is impossible for you to forget, even if he wasn't good for you? This is not a small talk question. It's a direct incision into her emotional subconscious. You're not asking about her ideal type. You're asking her to connect with her deepest addiction, the profile of the man who left a mark on her, not for his kindness, but for the emotional chaos he left behind. Almost every woman has had that man, the one who made her feel alive, desired, conflicted, a storm of emotions that no good guy could ever reach. When you ask her this, you're forcing her to reconnect with that memory. You're bringing her dark side to the surface, her contradiction, her desire for the forbidden. And here's the Machiavellian twist. You're the one doing it with a calm voice, a gaze that does not judge, an intention that feels mature, not needy. As she responds, she will not only relive the man she could never forget, she will begin to project that same emotional intensity onto you, because you were the one who dared to open that door. If that first question forced her to revisit a man she could never forget, this next one will make her feel something most men are too afraid to touch. We're moving from memory to danger. And danger, when handled with control, is one of the most addictive emotions a woman can feel. Question number 2. What is the most dangerous thing someone has ever awakened in you? This isn't about gossip. It's not about digging for her past mistakes. It's about planting the idea that you might be dangerous too, but in a way that feels emotionally irresistible. Most men try to be safe. Safe is forgettable. Danger, in the right dose, is unforgettable. When you ask this, her mind pauses. Why? Because no one has ever asked her this before. No one has dared. And in that moment, the entire frame shifts. You're no longer just another man in the room. You become the trigger, the detonator of dark, intense, emotionally charged memories. She might lean back, breathe deeper, say, I'm not sure I should tell you this. That hesitation? It's not a wall. It's an invitation. And here's the Machiavellian move. You don't push. You hold her gaze, a slow, calm smile, and you say, it's okay. Sometimes danger is beautiful too. Those words give her permission to explore her shadow with you. And when a woman feels she can reveal her darkness without judgment, it creates an intimacy that's almost addictive. Why? Because most men only want to see her light. You're telling her, without saying it, that you can handle her darkness, that you won't break when she shows it. That combination, safety plus risk, is what truly drives a woman wild. Psychologists call it the attachment intensity spike. When a connection is born in an emotionally risky moment, it imprints deeper, it lasts longer, it rewires how she sees you. And if you want to amplify this effect, when she answers, lean in slightly and say, interesting. I get the feeling you're still hiding something even more dangerous. 3 things happen instantly. You subtly challenge her, you spark curiosity, and you make her wonder what you might be hiding. That unspoken tension, that silent chess game, is where Machiavellian seduction lives. But here's the rule. Never use this question in a noisy, distracted environment. Wait until there's a moment of complicity, a vibe that says we're not playing, we're exploring. Because when you get it right, she won't just remember your question. She'll replay the feeling you gave her, over and over, until you're unforgettable. If question 2 unlocked her shadow, this next one makes her body betray her. It's not about what she says anymore. It's about what she can't hide, even when she tries. By the way, if any of these questions are making you think, imagine the effect they'll have on her. Drop in the comments which one you'd dare to use first. I read every single one. Question number 3. What signals does your body give when someone starts to attract you, but you don't want it to show? This is not a compliment. It's a mirror that forces her to observe herself in your presence. Most men wait for obvious signs of attraction. A Machiavellian man? He reads the hidden language, the one she doesn't control. When you ask this, she'll probably laugh. Look away, cross her legs, touch her hair. Her body will answer before her mouth does. And here's the key. You don't react like an excited boy who just scored a point. You stay composed. A slow smile, eyes steady, as if you already knew the answer. Why does this work? Because it creates self-awareness. Now, every time she's around you, she's thinking about how her body moves, and the more she's aware of it, the more it betrays her. In neuroscience, this is called embodied attention. When someone becomes hyper-conscious of their own physical responses, their brain links those responses to the person who triggered them. So you become the man her body responds to. Machiavellian twist. If she says something like, well, I guess I smile more than usual or get a little nervous, you look at her, pause, and say, interesting, you just did that now. That one line flips the entire frame. She feels exposed, but not violated. She feels read, without giving you permission. And she feels desired, without a single direct compliment. The result? A spike of silent tension. Erotic without being sexual, personal without being needy. But you must control your tone. No teasing giggles, no overplaying it. Just calm, surgical precision. Because this isn't about making her admit she likes you. It's about making her wonder if she's giving herself away every single time she's near you. If question 3 exposed what her body hides, this next one unlocks what her heart protects, and she won't give it to just anyone. Question number 4. What is your most secret weakness, the one only someone truly special could discover? This is not curiosity. It's an invitation, a coded way of saying, I want to step into your inner world without breaking the door. Why is it so powerful? Because it blends two forces women rarely feel at the same time: vulnerability and exclusivity. You're not asking about just any flaw, you're asking for a confession, but one she would only give to someone who has already made her feel safe, seen, and valued. Most men try to earn intimacy by oversharing their own secrets first. That's a mistake. The Machiavellian man does the opposite. He inspires her to open up without demanding it. And here's the beauty. If she hesitates, if she says, I'm not sure I should say this, that's not rejection. That's tension. That's the game. You can respond with, you don't have to say it, but now I'm already imagining it. Those words do two things instantly. They give her control over the choice to share, but they keep you in control of the emotional effect. Her imagination will start working, and she'll start wondering what you think that weakness might be. Every guess she makes in her mind ties you deeper into her emotional frame. And if she does share it, don't just nod. Analyze it quietly. Let your eyes hold hers for an extra second. Because at that moment, she's not just telling you something. She's testing if you can carry it without judgment. Pass that test, and she will subconsciously classify you as the man who sees her fully and doesn't flinch. And here's the Machiavellian payoff. A woman will chase the man who makes her feel rare, because rarity in emotion is almost impossible to find. If the last question gave you her trust, this one will put that trust right on the edge, because desire isn't born in safety alone. It lives in the tension between feeling protected and feeling in danger. Question number 5. What does a man do that makes you feel in danger, yet you still want him more? This is not about physical danger. It's about emotional danger, the kind that makes her pulse quicken, that blurs the line between fear and fascination. Why is it powerful? Because it forces her to reflect on the very moments she lost control and enjoyed it. When she answers, she'll likely reveal a pattern, something that turns her on not despite the risk, but because of it. Maybe she'll say, I'm drawn to men who don't need me, but still choose me. If you hear that, you've struck gold. She's telling you her emotional trigger, selective detachment. And if you already project that energy, she will begin to associate you with that very feeling. Machiavellian strategy. Never interpret her answer as an instruction to act toxic. Instead, embody the essence of that archetype, without crossing the line into real harm. Think edge of the cliff, not jumping off it. Because here's the truth. What keeps her coming back is not knowing exactly where you stand. It's the feeling of being pulled toward the fire, while knowing you could step back at any moment. Neuroscience has a term for this: approach avoidance conflict. It's the same emotional circuitry that makes thrill rides addictive. Too safe, and she's bored. Too risky, and she runs. But balanced perfectly, she's hooked. When you ask this question, use a slower tone. Lower your voice, just slightly. Because delivery matters as much as the words. If you rush, it feels like a trick. If you pace it right, it feels like a dangerous invitation. And here's the move after she answers. You pause. Half smile. Look at her, as if you've just confirmed something you suspected all along. Then, change the subject. Why change? because leaving the thought hanging keeps it alive in her mind, and that is pure Machiavellian control, ending the moment while she's still feeling it, so she comes back to it again and again, without you saying another word. If question 5 brought her to the edge, this one invites her to step over it, because the most powerful seduction isn't when you break her rules, it's when you make her want to break them herself. Question number 6. What's the craziest thing you would do if no one ever knew it was you? This is not about a joke. It's not an invitation to confess crimes. It's about liberation, giving her mind a hall pass to wander into the forbidden without consequences. Most women live under layers of self-control, social rules, personal boundaries, the good girl image. When you ask this question, you're telling her, here, you can be whoever you want for a moment. And the moment she starts imagining it, you're already in the picture, as the man who gave her that freedom. She might laugh and say, I don't know if I should tell you. Perfect. That hesitation is gold. It means she's thinking about it. And the more she thinks, the more she's mentally in that scene with you. Machiavellian. Move. If she resists answering, you lean back slightly and say, you don't have to tell me. Just thinking it means we already share it. With one line, you've turned an unspoken thought into a silent pact. A shared secret, even if it's never spoken, creates a bond stronger than 100 hours of small talk. From a psychological standpoint, this taps into the illusion of collusion, the sense that you and she are in on something no one else knows. It makes her feel like you're both already playing a private game. And here's the key. Don't dig for details. The less you know, the more her mind will fill in the blanks. And in every mental replay, you're there, holding the door to that forbidden space. When done right, this question doesn't just make her open up. It makes her want to keep opening up, because she's already tasted the freedom of doing it with you. If question 6 let her taste the forbidden, this one exposes the game she plays with herself, because sometimes the most telling signs are the ones she tries to hide. Question number 7. How do you behave when you start falling for someone, but you don't want to admit it? This question is deceptively simple, but it's one of the most dangerous in your arsenal, because you're not asking if she's fallen in love. You're asking how she hides it, which forces her to replay those moments in her mind. And here's the twist. If you've already sparked even a small spark of attraction, her brain will start whispering, I'm starting to do that with him. She might answer, I pull away, I act colder, I get busy. Perfect. Because now, every time she does that with you, she's reminding herself of this very conversation. You've turned her defense mechanism into a tell. Machiavellian move. When she gives you her answer, hold it. Then, with a calm half-smile, say, so if you ever pull away from me, I'll know exactly what it means. 3 things happen instantly. You frame her distancing as a sign of attraction, not rejection. You plant the idea that you see through her. You make her imagine scenarios where she's already reacting to you that way. Psychologically, this taps into cognitive priming. Once a pattern is acknowledged, her brain starts looking for it, and finds it even when it's subtle. Delivery is key here. Slow tone, steady eye contact. Pause just long enough after your line for the tension to settle. Because this question isn't about making her admit anything. It's about making her wonder if she's already giving herself away. Every time she's around you. And when a woman starts wondering that, she's already halfway into your frame. If question 7 exposed how she hides her feelings, this one takes you straight into the archive of the men she can't erase. And once you know what's inside, you can become the next unforgettable entry. Question number 8. What left the biggest mark on you from a man, even if he's no longer in your life? Notice, you're not asking who it was. You're asking what he did, the gesture, the moment, the energy. because a name is just trivia, but the impact is a blueprint. She might say, "He made me feel like I was the only one, even when we barely spoke." Or, "He understood me without me having to explain." That's gold, because now you know the exact emotional frequency that burns deepest into her memory. And if you already carry some of that energy, you just positioned yourself as the man who can give it again, with your own face on it. Machiavellian strategy. Memory is malleable. The brain often can't distinguish between remembering and reliving. So when she recalls that mark while sitting in front of you, her mind starts stitching you into the frame of that old memory. From her perspective, the feeling is the same, only the face changes. And now, it's yours. Psychological hook. After she answers, you can say, "That says a lot about what truly matters to you. I like that." This does two things: validates her answer, making her feel understood, reinforces you as the one who understands it. From here, don't overplay it. Move on smoothly, as if you didn't just steal the blueprint to her emotional core, because subtlety is the key. When you act like you already know how to leave that mark, she starts waiting for you to do it. If question 8 uncovered the blueprint of her deepest marks, this one bends logic completely, because the strongest attraction is the kind she can't explain. Question number 9. Has it ever happened that someone attracts you and you don't understand why? This is a trap. It forces her to admit that attraction can bypass logic, that she can want someone without a reason, and in that moment, the unspoken implication is you. When you ask, don't rush her. Let silence sit heavy. Watch her think, because as she searches for examples, her mind will scan her memories and her present. And if you've built enough tension already, your image will slip into that thought. If she says, "Yes, it has happened to me, and it confused me," you simply reply, "Sometimes the inexplicable is the most real." Then stop talking. Let the line echo. Why this works? It triggers cognitive dissonance, when what she feels doesn't align with what she believes, and human nature is to resolve that conflict by thinking more about it. The more she thinks, the deeper the hook. Machiavellian enhancement. Deliver the question with a steady, unreadable expression. No smirk, no teasing tone. Because you want her to wonder what you're thinking, not feel like you're fishing for validation. And if you want to push it one step further, after her answer, glance away for a moment, as if you've just confirmed something privately. That tiny act makes her curious. Curious about what you're thinking, and curious if she's the reason you asked in the first place. If question 9 made her admit that attraction can defy logic, this last one turns that feeling into a vision. Because once she imagines you in her life, you've already stepped inside. Question number 10. If someone could understand you without you having to explain anything, what place would they have in your life? You're not asking her to give you a place. You're inviting her to imagine the kind of man who fits that role. And in that moment, you're silently volunteering for it. Why it's lethal? It appeals to a deep, primal need to be seen, understood, and accepted without judgment. For many women, this is rarer than love itself, and rarity is magnetic. She might pause, smile faintly, say, "That kind of person is hard to find." Perfect. Because now she's just admitted the value of the role, and you can plant yourself in it without asking directly. Machiavellian move. Look at her, just long enough to let the silence thicken. Then say, "Maybe not as hard as you think." No smile, just intent. Then, change the subject. Why change? Because when you pull back at the peak of emotional engagement, the image stays in her mind. And every time she revisits the idea of someone who understands without words, your face will be there. Psychological frame. This is future pacing. A persuasion technique that makes the other person imagine a scenario where you're already involved. The brain starts rehearsing that reality, and the feelings become familiar. And familiarity breeds comfort, even desire. By the time you've asked this question, you've taken her through a journey: memory danger, body language, vulnerability, risk, forbidden self-denial, emotional imprint, irrational attraction, and now, emotional refuge. From here, you don't need to close anything. The seed is planted. The roots are already growing. And Machiavelli would tell you, the most powerful move is to leave her thinking about you when you're not there. If even one of these 10 questions made you think, imagine what they will do when you use them at the perfect moment, with the right tone, and with silence as your ally. Most men will never touch this level of connection. They'll keep playing the loud game of trying to impress, while you will master the quiet game of making her feel, and feelings. They don't fade when you leave. They follow her. They haunt her. They make her think about you in the middle of the night. Without knowing why. That's not luck. That's design. Now tell me in the comments, which of these 10 questions will you try first? I read every one of them. And if you want more strategies like this, strategies no average dating coach will ever teach you, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Because in the game of desire, words can be weapons. But in the hands of a true strategist, they become doors. Doors that once opened are never closed again.